Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to part 2 of the Sofa Manager Scottish Football Podcast. On episode 23, part 2, we're going to be talking about Aberdeen and Celtic's European campaigns, previewing them a little bit, and also the European Under-21 tournament and the Confederations Cup, or lack of it, or lack of competitiveness for that matter. John's also put together a wee quiz hastily in between the wee break we've had in recording. So
on the fly.
Thank you, John. And we'll finish off predictions for this week as well. So joining me as per last episode is Darren Gibson.
Hello.
Expert on Spain's Under-21 team. Yeah, wee paedophile. And John Brown over here, expert on really obscure European football knowledge, as we found out in the break, naming whether Dynamo Dresden was in East or West Germany. Write in if you knew that answer. And of course myself, Paul. So, I think we'll start with a bit of a preview as to Aberdeen's European campaign. They got a bit lucky. They go in at the second round of qualifying. If you listen to our quiz on last week's show, that was quite an entertaining way we did that. Listen to the quiz right at the end. I'll probably clip that. So Aberdeen go in at the second round because who won the Dutch league?
The Dutch league. It was Feyenoord. It was Feyenoord.
Feyenoord won, and Man United didn't make. No, Man United. If Man United had made it in the Champions League.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Aberdeen would have gone to the second round, but then with Feyenoord winning, it bumped Ajax into another round.
By some miracle, Aberdeen are in the second round of qualifying, and it is as complicated as it sounds, unfortunately. So, omitting the first round that was played last week, well done Rangers, St Johnstone.
Could have been better.
Yeah. We don't know, we're recording before then. So Aberdeen could be back to Kazakhstan again to play Orbadze, FC Orbadze Shmiat, who are 319th in the UEFA rankings, or playing in the first round it could be Soroke Brzež of not Slovakia,
Bosnia
and Herzegovina, homeland of Edin Dzeko, and quite a lot of good footballers came from Bosnia and Herzegovina at one point. I'm struggling to name any more, but you two will get back to me when you realise somebody.
Milan Pjanic.
Pjanic, yes, that's a very good one. So, good players that don't actually play there. So a little bit of background on these teams, I guess.
Moving on.
Pretty much. Really hard to find anything about the Kazakhstani league. A lot of these teams are very fresh startups. They do not seem to have the budget of Kairat, I think, who Aberdeen played last time.
Yeah, they were heavily funded by oil money.
Yeah, I think it was it Gazprom?
It might have been. Was it who was the central defender?
Timashuk,
yep.
Timashuk was their former Bayern Munich man, and they had Brazilians, so Aberdeen were screwed. And going away to Kazakhstan is just a mare.
Where about in Kazakhstan is it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Are you closer or nearer to Japan?
Japan. Well, you laugh, but that's kind of what you're dealing with, isn't it? It's remarkable that somewhere like Kazakhstan is.
I don't know how they class that as Europe.
I don't know.
I'm struggling with the Turkey concept. Never mind. And Israel as well.
I mean, do they sit at the European Union and stuff like that?
Well, Turkey does, but there's absolutely no way.
No, it's very unusual. I've got a map. It's in the south of Kazakhstan next to Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. So you couldn't go any further south in the country. Oh, and Afghanistan's very nearby as well.
Oh, good, that's a safe place.
Happy days there. That's a joke, isn't it? Oh, right. I'm saying that there was about 1,000-mile journey for St Johnstone to go to Lithuania.
That's at least 4 times the distance.
We're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 miles.
Yep. And how many time zones as well? That's the biggest issue. You're just going to be a mess.
And that's what really killed Aberdeen last time. That was a brutal game going to Kazakhstan.
You know what way round the fixtures are? Is it first leg at home?
I can't remember. I believe they are already drawn. But there is an off chance that they might not get them. They might get Soroke Brzež of Bosnia and Herzegovina. They are 4 places above the Kazakh side, because I'm not pronouncing that again, in the UEFA rankings at 315.
Wow.
So fingers crossed that we're going to Bosnia. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about Bosnia either. But some background to this team. They actually played Hearts in Champions League qualifying in 2006, 2007 and were knocked out by Hearts at that stage. So
Good sign.
That was a good sign.
bit of hope for a Scottish team, but they've never been knocked out at the first point of entry. So they've always played more than one game in Europe.
Right.
Not qualified outright, but they've always been, 2 rounds. I don't think they've ever gone beyond the third round and at the playoff round even. So I would say that they're probably more likely to beat this Kazakh team, and it's probably handier for them to get to Kazakhstan as well. Although chartering a flight from Bosnia to Kazakhstan, well, I don't know. No idea. While Aberdeen's UEFA ranking is 247, so they should, in theory,
On paper.
be better than both those teams. So that's a bit of a preview as to who they'll be playing. Let's kind of preview the Aberdeen team that could actually be facing them.
Who's going to be playing?
Well, we really don't know. Darren jokes and laughs, but as an Aberdeen fan, it's a massive
No, I meant that.
massive concern. I think it could be a really tough campaign for Aberdeen this time round. There's no Ash Taylor, which I wouldn't have rued before, but really short on defenders now. There's no Paulett, Hayes, Ryan Jack or McGinn. I think the big losses there, Hayes and McGinn.
But you've gained a Ryan Christie.
We have gained a Ryan Christie.
It's a big asset.
Huge asset, but again, he's more of a central player, isn't he? You could play him out wide.
I think it'd be wasted out wide, but yeah, I would agree.
But see, I think that's Aberdeen's major issue right now is they don't have wide players, and that's traditionally where they've penetrated from. From Hayes, from McGinn, get the crosses into Rooney.
Job's a good one.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't have that option anymore. So, and again, with those losses, I think it's going to be a very makeshift team that turns up here.
Was there any more talk about Stevie May?
There is a little bit of talk about Stevie May. Interest again. It's been rumbling on for a while. I think Preston were looking for about £400,000. Well, they got 1.3 million for Hayes.
Aye, but when was the last time Aberdeen paid 400,000? When was the last time Aberdeen paid money?
Stephen McLean, £300,000.
That's a joke.
Well, the teams are interested in him now. The thing about Stevie May is he got a really bad injury down south.
Yeah, I mean he's very, very unlucky.
But he was basically told that he wasn't going to play again. And you wonder with an injury like that, are we ever really going to see the best of that player again?
That's true.
Because some people just never come back from those kind of injuries, do they? Also interesting, Greg Stewart, again rumbling on. Birmingham City say Aberdeen don't have the money for that kind of player. But then they would have been interested in Kenny McLean. So, bit of moving and shaking, but Aberdeen can't really afford to lose any other players at this point in time.
Not without bringing people in.
Not without bringing people in, but you want to add to the squad, not kind of add and take away. So no, it's looking very threadbare if you look up their Wikipedia page right now. The squad's very thin on the ground. They can take heart. There's a few good youngsters in there, but again, they let a few youngsters go. Over that transfer window, some decent youngsters who've been playing in the team.
You've got Danny Rogers coming back. Everything's fine.
I think they released Neil Alexander, so I think Rogers will be.
He'll be number 2.
He'll be rooted firmly on the bench. I think Joe Lewis is actually the one area of stability that I'm relatively pleased about in that team. So I think with the changes, the way I see them lining up right now, and of course the manager won't line up this way because every time you predict something, never going to happen. I see them lining up as a 4-1-3-2 formation. Now, 2 strikers would be unusual for Aberdeen, but the way I do my sums, it's just how it has to be.
No other way to do it. Yep.
So your central defenders now have to be Reynolds and O'Connor, who I nearly forgot about. And I'm kind of sad that he now has to step up. More of a holding midfielder at the start of last season. How has to really take up that mantra of being a solid central defender. So hopefully a bit of development from him, because he had good spells last year. But he had bad spells and finished the season quite badly.
You always remember the bad stuff over the good stuff.
I think he was unlucky at the games he came on. Those cup finals, he really changed the tone of the game to be very negative. And you can't really blame him for that. That was just a McInnes decision. So I think it'll have to be the 2 of them at centre back. Considine will have to continue at left back, and thank the Lord that Logan is still there.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's a not bad back 4, to be honest. And even if you move
It's alright.
Constantine into the centre, put Shin at left back, you can do that.
You can, and ideally you would.
I would, definitely.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We don't have a left back. And I was like, oh yeah, we do have a left back. But you then got major problems with the midfield. So the way I'm playing right now is holding midfielder is Shinnie, and then ahead of him you're going to have Christie, McLean, and probably Greg Tansey.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound inspiring.
But
It's what they've got.
It's solid enough.
there's other youngsters, to come in there. I think Scott McKenna, not really played many games. They did start a 15-year-old at the end of last season, so I don't know if he's ready.
Well, what was the young guy who scored the hat-trick at the end of the season?
Right.
Right.
I'm blanking. Scott Wright, I think it was.
Ian
Scott
Wright? Is it? No, Ian.
Ian Wright was...
Ian Wright, right. Ian. Oh, it's a great chant though for Scott Wright. No, Ian Wright was a fantastic Arsenal striker many years ago. So we'll get to the strikers. So no, you don't. You're not inspired by that midfield.
It's solid enough, but there's no creativity.
Well,
Apart from Christie, but you don't play him in the centre or midfield.
I think Christie and McLean.
You could play a diamond.
You could play a diamond.
Yeah.
See, for me, I think I always associate Tansey is a bit of an unknown right now. Coming from Inverness, I've seen him more as a defensive midfielder who I'd rather put in the holding role, but then you have to really put Shinnie there because that's just what works best, as far as I can see. So, if you could maybe put Christie at the top of that, would you put Christie or McLean at the top of that diamond?
Christie at the top of the diamond, absolutely. I don't think Christie's quite got the dig to play centre mid. I think Kenny does.
Okay.
And I think Christie would be better foil for if you were playing Rooney up front,
and
then it's whoever you play as your other striker.
No, I would agree with that actually. Sounds good to me. And then for strikers, I mean, it would be unusual to see him play two up top because it's just not an Aberdeen thing. It's usually Rooney or Stockley. Now, it's got to be. I've got down the combination of either Rooney and Stockley, which. If you're dominating a game, fantastic. Because I said at the Europa League campaign last season, they put the two up top and just bombarded with crosses, and that's difficult to deal with. 2 6-foot+ guys who are good at heading the ball.
Yeah.
And we saw in the cup final, he was actually quite good moving himself about, keeping the ball up. So there could be more to come from Stockley this year. Otherwise, it'd be Rooney, Scott Wright. Is that too much of a responsibility to put on him right now? Probably.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see how the guy deals with that.
I think
in the Europa League, I don't know what Aberdeen have their own expectations, of course, but it could be the kind of thing that this guy kind of thrives in.
Maybe.
I mean, he must be on an absolute high.
Oh, aye.
Coming into the squad for last season, it's big momentum for the boy.
Aye, and hopefully McInnes recognises that and gives him a chance. And I think there is probably going to be a bit of experimentation during this Europa League kind of phase, because there was a lot of chat before the summer. Right, let's go one further, and then the demolition came.
Yeah.
But that's just what happens when you're a team that's you've got to second ahead of all these other good teams behind you, and that's just naturally the crescendo that Aberdeen have come to has attracted interest. This was always going to happen, and it's just the year it's happened now.
Yep.
So we'll wait and see. Greg Stewart, Stevie May, Maloney. I don't know how Maloney would fit into that team.
You would want to see you would shunt him out wide, but he's not got the pace anymore to do that. I mean, granted, I have no idea who Aberdeen would be looking at.
I mean,
in terms of who's been released.
The rumour recently was they were looking at a Fulham youngster called George Williams. So he is a youngster. I think he'd be welcomed in with open arms because we do not really have a young kind of wide man to come in.
Aye.
There's a few kind of decent defenders and strikers and things, but not really a wide man.
No.
So even if it's big boots to fill in terms of Niall McGinn or Johnny Hayes, but given time to develop, maybe. But then you're taking a punt on that, aren't you? And if the boy doesn't turn out to be, so he's not going to be an out of the box replacement, and these players aren't going to come soon enough for this first leg. By the looks of things,
that's true. Yeah.
At the moment, he's just. So it's going to be a very new team that aren't used to be playing together, that won't really be ready. Everyone's out on holiday at the moment, so it's going to be pretty scary because these teams, look to be fairly competitive teams. These are no guys that are messing about. So, do you think Aberdeen will get through the first round of qualifying?
You would hope so.
You would hope so. But
I think they will.
It's going to be tough.
Ever the optimist, Darren. I like that.
If they get the Kosovo team, it's certainly, a lot more helpful in terms of
the Bosnians.
Geography and travel and all this kind of nonsense. But you would expect if you do it at the business at Pittodrie, you're okay.
Aye. Yeah, I think I just have to keep my fingers crossed. So I think again that's happening in July. I believe the 13th of July. So
Yes.
I might load up the car, see if I can head up for that one. Grab a wee TGI's on the beach beforehand. It's always a good night out. So I don't see them qualifying for the group stages though this year. I think it's too tough to be the rest of the rounds. Do you see any of the Scottish teams getting to the group stages this year through the Europa League? Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers depending how this team performs.
Rangers depending on the draw. I can't see.
But after watching that first leg last week,
Well,
I'm very convinced. No.
we'll see what they get on the second leg. It's touch and go, but
shocking result. Pre-recorded listeners, we don't know what went on. I'm being awkward. I think I would agree with you. Of all the people with the chances, Rangers have a pretty easy draw the first 2 rounds.
St Johnstone less so. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, I think St Johnstone, if they come against that Swedish team, they're done. As far as I'm concerned. But you never know.
You never
know.
Stranger things have happened.
That's why we love football.
Not many. Not many. So good luck. Just good luck to everybody. We want to see our Scottish teams do well in European competition.
It'd be good.
And get out.
There's nothing more awful than watching European football and there isn't a Scottish interest.
No. And get out supporting them, guys. Like, I know some of the Aberdeen Europa League games I've been at have been horrifically attended. And when St Johnstone had that good wee spurt in the European competition, I think they qualified for 1 round. The stadium was full. And McDermott Park is never full.
No,
that's true.
So, get that excitement going, hopefully do something there. Onward and upward now, I think, to the Champions League qualifiers. Celtic in a bit of a tricky situation here. They can either face SP La Fiorita of San Marino. Of course, interesting team from the San Marino playoff system, which they won last year to win the league ultimately, weirdly, strangely. Listen to the last podcast, we have more on Folgore, who finished 3rd in that competition. So, this team have been in European competition for quite a few years now. But they lost, we discovered this evening, 10-1 to FC Vaduz, the absolutely minced team from Luxembourg, who did beat Falkirk in fairness, but they beat Falkirk narrowly. So, how bad this team are.
And that's it, and Linfield are really going to go for this as the other team in this.
They will. We saw Linfield's European record, obviously. They've been in Europe so much. Qualifying preliminary round, and rarely have they gone 1 or 2 steps further. Seem to have a bit of a duck against Irish teams. Republic of Ireland, which will be maybe a bit sore for them. The Northern Irish teams, we had the amazing story of Dundalk, I think, last season.
I mean, you could go.
I think it was.
The best way to kind of look at this at the moment is Linfield were eliminated from the Scottish Challenge Cup by Queen of the South.
Right.
Last season. Right. So there's that perspective as well.
Right, okay, that puts things into perspective actually quite a lot. But of course the major issue with that, the fixture scheduled for the 12th of July, the kind of height of the Marches season, which has caused quite a lot of trouble, hasn't it? Yeah, John, you're not doing that. I'll have to bleep you out again like I did on the last.
Look, it's a bit of a joke though, right? For all of UEFA says politics doesn't affect football, yada yada yada, and this is a big issue, and it should have been seen coming.
Yeah.
A lot of the kind of, I think it's Albania, Kosovo, Serbia, all these kind of countries are actively avoided. Surely they should have done the same thing here. And sort of just went, what, fair enough.
They thought so.
Northern Irish teams aren't going to play Scottish teams or whatever because of this, especially that date. I mean, my God.
But it's kind of a shame that things have to come to this.
It is. It's just the fact that Celtic can't take away fans to that game is unfortunate. And I'll be interested to see if Linfield actually take up their away allocation for going to Celtic.
I think if Celtic reject theirs, Linfield would be.
They're obliged to do the same.
Aye, I think it was a kind of gentleman's agreement. But I'd love to see Celtic fans out there. But I acknowledge just violence. You can't get away from it, especially in Glasgow. Clubs.
It's just
Partick Thistle and St Mirren amongst the worst.
Oh, terrible. Those Queen's Park hooligans.
Oh. I was like, have you been at a Queen? Oof. They don't even let them play at Hampden half the time. It's that bad.
They've got this Yorkshire Terrier wee Doug, and he just comes in. A wee ankle grinder.
Oh dear, no. Anyway, it's
Party Thistle's Great Dane just using the
why are the dogs that's fighting? It's not even casuals. They're just.
It's our devil dogs.
They're not like cockfighting and stuff like they do in Thailand with the chickens. Where they have.
That's true.
I don't know what you do on a Friday night.
Crossing swords. Anyway, I know it's we're supposed to be having a serious social debate again, and we've just lowered the tone massively.
Went off that.
So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but there's just no way around it, is there?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
So hopefully we'll just kind of breeze by this. There'll be no, because I think Rangers fans will look to instigate quite a lot as well.
If you say so,
What are you talking about now?
Nah. You're right though. Especially that time of the year. It's the height of the marching season. That's when all these guys come out and.
But Rangers have been coming out with comments recently, just trying to incite.
Oh, aye. Dave King is on an ego trip. It doesn't make sense.
He's been sitting there saying, "Oh, Celtic, they've practically only won 2 leagues or something." Like he was saying,
practically won 2 leagues out of the 6, and that they should be Celtic should be further ahead than they already are.
How many points did they win? 33 points. I think they won the league by last season.
Unbeaten.
Aye.
5-1 wins.
They won every trophy.
Every trophy, and beat Rangers on the way to both those trophies.
5-1 twice.
But a draw at
Enough
Celtic.
said.
Draw Celtic.
Oh no! He's got to say something, hasn't he? Especially with the new merchandise deal that we spoke about in part 1.
Aye, but no. We'll focus on Celtic for the moment. But they shouldn't really have any problems with this tie, should they? I guess.
No, I think this is the kind of underlying tone that Celtic should
Breeze by.
get to the group stage of the Champions League. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If they don't get to the group stage of the Champions League, this season is already a failure for
Well,
them.
very fortunately for them, they go into the third round seeded, which helps a lot
Hugely.
in terms of avoiding teams. So they're likely to get teams or the teams that beat, like Malmo is one from Sweden. Sweden. Aye, Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Sweden,
Malmo.
yeah.
Malmo are pretty good.
They're good, yeah.
Ibrahimovic's
Yes.
first time.
Yes. Who could be back with? Who knows? Astana
He'll still
from
be in, yeah.
Kazakhstan, who've had quite a good season in recent times. Rosenborg.
You would want Rosenborg.
You'd want Rosenborg. They could get Beersheva.
Is Ronnie Tyler the manager of
Well,
Rosenborg?
I couldn't tell you that. You can tell me that though, can't you?
Yeah, well, Google that at the moment.
You'll find out.
Beersheva. And they could also get Nice at that stage in the
Nice.
competition.
Nice is the hardest.
Because Nice go in unseeded, which is
It's not.
pretty brutal. So I think they should go to that third round. The playoff round, all bets are off for me. I mean, you can come up against Seville, Sporting Lisbon, Hoffenheim, Liverpool. Because I don't know if they'd be seeded in the playoff round.
Celtic, I don't think would be seeded.
So that's when all bets are off, and you're just playing whoever you're playing, and you got to do your best. But that squad's been kept together, hasn't it, Dan? There's
They have, yeah.
not been any major losses, no major additions as of yet.
No. But then they've done well enough last season.
Multi-million-pound Johnny Hayes, of course. But,
Camden.
I don't see him playing really in Europe. Truth be told, I think very much a domestic player. So, you think with that squad, do you think they're good enough, Darren?
I think, yeah, well, looking at how they done last season, I think the squad's good enough. Like, obviously they'll be looking to bring in a couple of people to strengthen the squad, but I think with that squad they'll be able to get to the group stage.
Well, they did it. They did it last year under the management of Brendan Rodgers, and I guess they only look stronger now, don't they?
Yeah.
So, absolutely. I wouldn't be sad to see them in the Europa League. If anything, I'd be excited to see them in the Europa League get into some...
even, the money that they get to go into the Champions League, that's great. So they definitely want to get into it.
Yeah.
And if they come third in their group, and I don't think this year's group's going to be as hard as last season, they would be very, very unlucky to get as hard a group.
Really got much worse than last season.
And if they come third, then at least they'll drop into the Europa League anyway.
That was 3 of the top nations they got teams from in that group. The Germany, Spain, England, 3 of the best leagues across Europe.
Brutal.
And then Celtic.
To clarify the playoff round, they're in the Champions route so they would just play whoever progressed from the third round.
Right.
So it's just a filtering out.
Well, that's better.
They do because they'll
That's
avoid
good.
Seville, Napoli, Liverpool, Hoffenheim, and Sporting Lisbon.
Liverpool Celtic would be a good game though.
Crying game, but I think they would get absolutely annihilated.
You'll never walk alone at both legs. Truly never walk alone, that's for sure. So you expect to see them go through, John?
I do expect them to go to the group stage. You look at the kind of teams that could face third round qualifying, the playoff round. They're either of a similar size or bigger. I think you're looking at Olympiacos, Red Bull Salzburg, FC Copenhagen maybe is the
I think they'd be
top
alright
three.
against those guys.
Malmö is always a tricky one for Scottish teams in the past.
Malmo have been pretty strong
Yeah.
in years gone by.
And you've got rotten trips to Astana, Karabag.
Well, good news. I've looked up as to how long it would take to walk from Aberdeen to Ordbasi in Kazakhstan. It's a distance of 3,936 miles. Includes a ferry, cross borders. It would take 1,196 hours. So 1,196 hours in terms of days. Chat amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
I'm
over a
doing
month.
calculating in my head. Yeah, it's 50 days. 50 full days of walking
Yeah,
away.
it's non-stop
full
as
day.
well. Yeah.
So it's pretty far. So Astana would be one they'd want to avoid.
Yeah.
Just if we're going to Kazakhstan.
I mean,
I
even
think they
games.
played Astana.
I mean, you're looking at like they could play Partizan Belgrade, which you would imagine would be.
You'd love that.
that's
You'd want to go to
I
that.
would want to go with that because that's a serious security job. That.
Oh dear. Do you like that Ultras culture?
I like watching it. I don't know how I would feel being in about it.
Being in it.
I actually watched a documentary this morning on Red Star Belgrade
Hmm.
during their 1991 Champions League final when they won it. And it was like 90,000 people packed into this crumbling wreck,
Yeah.
and the entire stadium was just lit up.
Yeah.
And
flares and
I can't remember, they played Bayern Munich, who completely like bottled it
Yeah.
as soon as they walked out, and they were
yeah.
the guys that were interviewing, I forget the guy's name, and you could see the Bayern Munich players in the tunnel, and they were already pale, and then they heard the noise and they stood outside and it just went pure white.
Yeah.
They couldn't cope. But I mean, that was when those sides were really at their peak during the Yugoslavian leagues. They're not like that anymore, obviously.
No, it's a very different affair now.
They're a fraction of what they used to be, but at the same time, it's not the kind of place you want to go. You want an easy side, really. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at maybe, I don't know, Rosenborg. I think would be the one I would go for.
Yeah. We'll wait and see. So yeah, good luck Celtic, I think there.
Indeed,
It's great to have those European nights. I remember last year
Yeah.
watching, I think, the Man City draw, and seeing You'll Never Walk Alone just before the match. It brings you to tears, very nearly, and the football does too. To be fair, watching Celtic isn't as bad. So yeah, good luck Celtic.
Indeed.
Whoa, we're going to go Celtic. Anyway, I got it right that time. So, I think time to pass things over to Jonathan Brown and Darren Gibson, our experts on, I think we'll start with the Under-21 European Tournament, as that seems to be the...
That's the one that John's watched more of, I
Yeah,
think.
I think so.
far more interesting tournament.
So tell us what's happened in the tournament so far. Who are the movers and shakers out there?
Well, you're kind of looking at Spain as probably being one of the standouts, absolute
Yeah.
standouts in this tournament.
Their squad is outrageous. See, when I looked up their team sheet, it's just full of stars that are actually in first team football. So you've got like Asensio at Real Madrid, yeah, he comes off the bench every so often. You've got Saul at Atletico Madrid. You've got Denis Suarez at Barca. You've got Sandro, who's at Malaga. Malaga.
Really good season.
And he's probably Everton bound. You've got Bellerin, who's at Arsenal. He plays week in, week out.
Playing Under-21s?
Under 21s, yeah. And Inzaghi Williams at Bobalpo.
Hi.
And other people in the squad, so it was just an amazing squad. I couldn't believe how good the depth was in that team.
They look at that, I had to sort of look twice. I knew players like Asensio and all that were qualified, but I didn't realise Deulofeu was as young as he was.
Him too, actually, yeah.
And Bellerin just qualified and no more. I think he's actually 22, but
I think it allows like one or two that just fall into it in the war.
I'm sure there's a funny rule about if your birthday's on or before the 1st of January.
Aye.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I think the max age you can
24.
be is 23, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
23. That's what I've heard.
So, I mean, like I say, they're absolutely on fire. Annihilated Montenegro 5-0, who actually didn't look that bad in the game, in my opinion. Portugal have actually been kind of poor. They don't have a huge amount of talent coming through. I mean, maybe Bruma is the only one that would really kind of, you would go, yeah, he's a good player. Renato Sanchez.
Yeah, he's been a wee bit disappointing. He's good assist in one of the games, I noticed.
He came on in the first game, had an absolutely wonderful assist. Done nothing the rest of the game, like, but I mean that was a crucial moment actually. So you look at them going forward and you're going, nah, not great.
Bruma's goal against Spain was amazing. Did you see that? The volley? Oh, that was amazing.
If you haven't seen it, go and see it. Honestly, it's one of the greatest goals you'll see in a long time. But ultimately, Spain beat Portugal 3-1. It's actually really comfortable in the end. They beat Serbia 1-0 with a completely rotated squad, and they're looking the most likely to actually win the tournament. And if you're a betting man, they would who you would go for.
And you are a betting man.
Yep. I lost all my money, so it's okay.
How did you do it, Ascot?
Not bad. I actually had the Gold Cup winner.
Oh.
On a fourfold accumulator. It was kind of a lucky 15. If you know what that is just maybe a foreign language to. But so I got some money back, so I was quite happy.
That's good.
That's the next thing to do, is actually go to a horse meet, but that's a different thing. I could go off on a tangent about that.
Yeah. Tune in next week for John's horse racing podcast.
Racing Post, give me a phone. That's it.
So in terms of other teams in the under 21 tournaments, any other kind of standout names for maybe Germany, France?
England don't have a huge amount. They haven't taken who you would really kind of want to be there, likes of Rashford, Lingard, and so on. They're not there. Don't know why. There've been a lot of kind of commentary, especially from English pundits, about why they, for some bizarre reason, don't use that system like Spain and Germany and so on.
Yeah.
It's like if you're 18, you're immediately into the national side. I think that speaks volumes about how good their national side is. That they're relying on the likes of Rashford. They could have done they had a big impact on this tournament, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, they didn't. And you now see Spain, who you could probably put your money on them winning maybe the 2026 World Cup or something like that. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think England took the team that you expected them to take, but they've still won the group, which is good for them. But then you look at and then you look at the group. It wasn't the strongest group in the world, so they have won the easiest group. I mean, looks so.
Looking at the squad they put out against Poland, Nathan Redmond, good player. Pickford, obviously, his big money move to Everton, which I still don't entirely comprehend.
It doesn't make sense.
Holgate, Everton defender, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ben Chilwell, kind of a highly rated Leicester prospect, but not really playing. Whereas the Spanish names you talk about are first teamers.
And big teams as well. Really world class players.
Jack Grealish.
I think they had Chambers playing in one of the games.
Was he Southampton?
Demarai Gray.
Yeah, aye.
Who's that Southampton centre back that kind of filled in for Van Dijk when he was injured? Sure, he was quite young. Michael
just
Keane.
a young lad. Aye.
Michael Keane,
no,
quite young.
He's at Burnley.
I know, but is he not quite young?
Oh, he's young. Aye, yeah.
He doesn't seem to be in the team either. I don't know any of the Polish guys here at all.
They had a poor tournament.
I don't think they played Gray enough. They had him on the bench a few times, but I think he's the sort of guy that could change the game for you. And they played well in that game he started.
They do, but I do wonder if Bournemouth or whoever's been in his ear about take it easy. You're a big player for us.
Yeah.
So don't overdo it. We need you back fresh. And I think that filters in to these kind of tournaments for England.
So I think the other team that I've been thinking that you can never write them off is Germany. Yeah, they got beat off Italy, but at the same time, Germany just right through all the age groups. I think they're just a good tournament team, ain't they?
Their toddler team is ridiculous. Absolutely. Have you seen the nursery European tournament?
No.
John was looking at me seriously there for a moment.
He's like, yes, I have.
What?
No.
But yeah, I think you can't really write Germany off. I seen them in one of the games. I thought they were standard, just Germany usual. Passed the ball about, scored the goals, done their job. I think Gnabry was one of the scorers one of the games.
He's certainly there. He's recently joined Bayern Munich.
And he's joined Bayern Munich, yeah.
And quite a...
It was a free agent, but it was a funny move.
Well, no, he kind of shafted. Was it Schalke? No, it wasn't Schalke. Was it Bremen?
Yeah,
I think it was Bremen.
it was Bremen.
Aye, Bremen. Who had been good to him, had offered him the contract, and he'd taken up that option he had of like cutting the contract short. And I was like, they gave you your chance, mate. That's a bit.
Money talks.
That's the second time you've used that.
It does though.
What you thought of Italy then, John?
I've been kind of between Germany and Italy. I've not been impressed massively.
No, neither have I.
And I'm actually looking at Germany more.
Dahoud is a good German player, by the way.
Well, I've seen that Mitchell Weiser.
Alright, where's he playing?
Hertha Berlin. He was an absolute standout when I seen them play Hamburg.
Was it?
Really, absolutely fantastic right back. He'll go on to do big things, in my opinion. But no, I mean, if you link, Germany haven't been great, in my opinion. I kind of contradict yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sort of look at that with their Confederations Cup performances, which we'll look at later,
Yeah.
they haven't been great. I think they're in a weird transition phase. I think losing Lam and Schweinsteiger, they've lost a kind of backbone that they maybe didn't need to lose. In terms of Italy, they've got one or two good players. Donnarumma in goal, Rugani at
See
centre
them
back.
chucking cash at him the other day.
Donnarumma?
Yeah.
It's
I heard
Real
that.
Madrid were looking at him.
Yeah,
So the AC Milan were sort of insinuating that he was being tapped up along the same lines of Liverpool and Van Dijk.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of having conversations and such, but
Yeah.
I don't think he would leave. Not in a hurry anyway. Why would he? He's only 18. Like,
If you're looking on for a big stage, that's nuts that he's only 18.
he's a great
He's
keeper
been
as well.
about for
That's-
ages and he's only 18.
It feels like that. I know that one of the other good players I'm seeing, Lorenzo Pellegrini, plays with Sassuolo, is a good midfielder, plays a lot in the first. There's quite a lot of Sassuolo actually players.
Berardi.
Oh aye, forward.
He's a good player. And Diego Rugani at centre back as well. It's just
These centre backs are going to. This is who the
this
big team should be looking at.
Yeah.
it's typical Italy. It's like build from the back and just hope for the best going forward.
I saw Maldini's sons coming through in the AC Milan youth system.
Is it?
I was like, keep an eye.
Going into the semi-finals, you've got England versus Germany and Spain versus Italy.
Donnarumma was born in 1999.
Yeah.
99!
It was one of the first kind of millennial, nearly millennial.
Nearly millennial. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, so England versus Germany and Spain versus Italy, John. Yeah.
What did you make of the match?
It was good.
Really enjoyed it.
Surprise finalists, we have to say.
Indeed, that.
I mean, who won the European? Was it Sweden won last time?
Might have been.
Because I've noticed that Sweden have kind of had a hard time here. Because I'm sure it was John Guidetti was a big hero of, maybe it was the Under-21 World Cup, I'm not sure.
It was helping
Maybe.
Sweden last time. I'm sure.
So maybe it was Sweden that won the last Under-21.
But yeah, Sweden's not really done much in the tournament.
No, I thought they would do okay. I mean, they drew with England in the first game, and I kind of thought, this is looking ominous for England, and congratulations to Sweden for making my day. But I don't know. It's been quite entertaining, and you really see these guys coming through, and you really hope that they do make it.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch England, and it's like, who'll end up in Scotland trial? And some of them are dreadful, and it's true. I mean, you see some of these guys. Sign them when they're 25, 26 and they'll go former England international, like under 21
Under
level.
21
And you're like, really? Come
Oh,
on.
I know.
Like,
A lot of really naff guys.
aye. And it's the same thing, this could happen again.
But like former England Under-21 international Josh Walker played with Aberdeen for a while. Scored a great goal against Bayern Munich. Now he's the captain of Edinburgh City.
It's that kind of level.
I'm looking through the final of 2015. For Sweden, we have Victor Lindoff, now signed with Man United from Benfica. John Guidetti. Yep.
Thanks, Apple.
For Portugal, we've got left back Rafael Guerreiro.
Rings a bell.
Is he not Dortmund? No.
Maybe.
And we've got Bernardo Silva.
Yep.
And João Mario. I don't know if I'm getting him mixed up with another João Mario.
The João Mario plays for Inter Milan. No, that's
Oh,
the
no,
same
there's Inter Milan. Aye. So, a few good players there, but
nothing brilliant.
yeah,
No
not
wonder we're all
well. I don't know. I think Guerrero's touted to do big things, and Victor Lundhoff just finished
He will.
that.
I mean, that's about 1 out of 22, you know.
I'm sorry, John, that all these guys.
It's a
But
terrible
we're
succession.
never going to see Sweden going, well, could you see Sweden win the Euros? I mean, Portugal won the Euros, so, you know.
I mean, Denmark have won the Euros as well, so it's
Have
possible. Yeah.
When did Denmark win the Euros?
19...
Well, the under 21s.
No, the actual full European tournament.
Absolute madness.
Peter Schmeichel's in goal.
Oh, well. Absolutely crazy. So, you think that's maybe been more of an exciting tournament to watch than
Confederations
the
Cup.
Professional Confederations Cup?
I'd say so.
They just cut that short, it's miserable.
Well, I watched. I think the difficulty for me, I remember watching quite a few of the Brazil games
Yes.
years ago now, because they were on BBC at the time. It was now on ITV4 here in the UK, as if we've got any international audience. And I remember watching an amazing, I think it was Japan against, it must have been Brazil or Italy. I think it was maybe Japan-Italy. And it was the most heroic footballing performance I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys, you know, they weren't diving, they were just, it was such an inspired performance, but they were trying. You know, and they should have beat Italy, ultimately kind of got sucker punched by the quality in the end and lost. But you know, this was a game people were like tweeting about, we were listening to it on the radio, I think I was at a parents' night or something like that. Sad times. So, on the way back, and I remember that distinctly. And I don't know whether the BBC thing maybe, you know, makes it a bit more engaging to watch, or whether, I don't know, whether the quality's just dropped off a cliff. I don't know. If you guys, I did watch the 10 minutes of Russia-Portugal the other day,
Alright,
and it was a very scrappy affair. You know, there wasn't.
yeah, it wasn't up to much.
When I watched the first game at Russia against New Zealand, it was dreadful. Oh, to be fair to New Zealand, they played quite well. They had to play at their absolute limit. Russia didn't look
New
great.
Zealand have done fantastically, you know, considering the calibre of players that New Zealand have.
In the kind of typical competition that they have in the Oceanic Cup, I mean, they're by far and away the biggest club.
Oh, aye.
And they played well against Mexico, actually.
They
I know.
did, yeah.
I watched a bit of that game, but they did play well.
It's very heroic.
Have they played Australia at all?
No,
No.
they're on the other side of the
won't as
tank.
well.
Ah, that would have been good.
Yeah. I think the Germany-Chile game's been one of the best games. I never seen that game, but I was told by a couple of friends that it was actually a good game.
I was kind of flicking between it and the Euros, and it was a good game. Sanchez, it was a real standout. Germany haven't brung what you would expect them to bring in terms of like a full strength squad. It's all experimental.
I did see quite a few experimental names.
And that in itself tells you what some of these countries kind of think
Yeah,
about the
think of this
tournament.
tournament. Yeah,
So it's so hot.
Is that a problem?
It's a bit of a
I
problem.
think it
but
is. Yeah,
Again, you kind of look at it and you go, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. And I think certainly if I was to play in it, I'd bored out my mind and I just want to go on my holidays.
Alright.
You would though.
Well, no, I see what you mean. You know, it's right at the end of the season.
I mean, it's a nothing tournament, really.
It's actually kind of borderline end of the season, isn't it? Kind of you're in between.
I mean, at least in the World Cup, something serious is at stake.
Uh-huh.
Same with the
Yeah.
Euros, and if you play in South America, so on and so forth. You're playing the Confederations Cup that the square root of bugger all really care about.
Uh-huh.
Like,
it's basically like a tournament version of friendlies, isn't it?
yeah,
That's
I mean,
all it
it's
is.
a prequel, and it's
That's
a kind of. For anything else, it's a test for Russia as to how they can handle people, and it's for them to kind of bolster their image.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not the greatest at the moment.
I'm looking at this kind of teams facing off just now. Australia versus Chile. Oh, Jackson Irvine is playing. Oh, that's good.
Australia's been quite well, good. Like Tom Rogic had a goal.
Oh, did he?
Australia's been good, yeah.
Yeah, he's not playing today.
I think Australia and New Zealand have done better than what people expected them.
Yep, particularly Australia. I mean, I was quite impressed. It'd be nice to see them actually improve as a nation, because they've got it's typical Australian. They've kind of got the kind of spirit and the willpower to do it. It's a bit like America in terms of they'll come out and give 100% and they're all very athletic, technical abilities.
What was that?
iffy.
What was that barbecue
Yeah.
song the Americans were chanting?
I love that barbecue song.
What is it, John?
You take the Vindaloo song and you switch out Vindaloo for barbecue.
What barbecue?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. Nah, nah.
We have to do that at like the Falkirk Betfred League Cup games just to quite literally spice things up. Boom, boom. Shh. So no credit to New Zealand. I did see that Germany were mixing it up a bit. I'm trying to flick through the internet to see squads and things, but it's actually really hard to find.
They're not good.
So it shows you that nobody's interested in this at all.
No.
Nobody cares. The crowds haven't been great either. There's a lot of empty spaces.
New proposal. Instead of Confederations Cup, we just do European qualifying for Europa League and Champions League in this one spot. So instead of Aberdeen having to go to Kazakhstan,
Yes.
we just fly everyone to Russia, bang out these games, one leg, neutral venue.
Aye, we've done it enough.
You'll need to play 3 games a day at the same stadium, but
That's fine.
it'd make
You
it
could
more
put it
interesting.
in the public park.
Imagine
but we
the
did it
atmosphere though, right? See if you had it in like London, where you've got the Emirates, you've got like Queen's Park, you've got White Hart Lane, you've got Stamford Bridge, you've got Vicarage Road, name me other London stadiums, the Olympic Stadium,
Fulham.
Craven Cottage.
That one.
Loftus Road is the Queen's Park Stadium,
Who else plays in London? Crystal Palace. Selhurst.
Selhurst Park.
Brentford kinda in London.
Yeah, there's a few. I think Charlton's not that far.
Charlton's not too far.
Brighton's
Right, of course. They're always on strike. You can't
right.
get the train.
Let's get like the 70 clubs that are for Europa League qualifying.
All to London.
Play all their games in London and have just this like festival of football everywhere. How class would that be?
That'd be amazing because it wouldn't matter about the stadium size.
No. Problem is if you get pointed out in the first week, it's a bit awkward.
Little bit.
Aye.
Nah, you're in for a
And
party.
there's no crescendo for like winners or anything like that. But that could be fun, right?
That'd be amazing. That would be really, really. I mean, everyone would. It's like London's the centre of everything anyway.
Yes.
So
It's like a European tournament, but better.
it's a club European tournament.
There's more teams. There's maybe not more people.
I don't know. I mean, I think the public in general, I mean, any football fan would want to go. Maybe.
Oh, do you know what, I
There's
think
more interest
I
in
think even just make some of the games free admission because like who's going to go and see FC Vaduz versus Bala Town?
Or like Torshavn versus Kairat Almaty.
But you could say you were there. I was
there.
When Torshavn thumped Kalmati or whatever.
You could buy your half and half scarf and
That'll be the admission for the game. Like,
buy a half and half.
can you imagine? To be fair though, right? See, when I was at Aberdeen, they did have like half and half scarves for all those Europa League ties, which I was amazed by. But you know what a thing to have on your wall, eh?
Mm.
Which I think I still have to this day, weirdly.
It's not something I would buy, but
So no, get back to us on that, UEFA. We think
yeah, but we're onto something. I'm
think-
unemployed. I'll help.
we
Like,
think that's it. Okay, I'm unemployed. I'll help a 70-team club tournament taking a place across London, who we've picked for the fact that there's just lots and lots of stadiums. Would there be any other city in Europe you could have?
Berlin's got quite a few stadiums. Paris, I think maybe one or two.
I mean, Parc de France, Stade de France. I'm struggling on that.
Paris FC. Créteil got a football team.
Don't know.
Bound to have.
I think Paris
That's the kind of size of stadium
Paris
you use.
FC are on their way up, I'm sure. I saw recently.
Or even, I don't know. You could have it in the Netherlands. It's small. Or
It's compact.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it becomes like an iron. Whoa,
or you could have it in like Frankfurt and just have trains on it. Like you could like Luxembourg there and
Well, Frankfurt does have a good train service.
yes.
They've got the U-Bahn in Frankfurt, which is like an underground overground service, very fast
Right.
tram trains.
And you get like the S-Bahn out to Luxembourg.
Oh, do you? I did not know that. How do you know that?
Because I've been learning German.
See, John's perfect for organising this European tournament.
Yeah,
He
you
can
got-
communicate with the Austrians too.
Yes.
Do the Austrians speak German?
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah.
Like proper German, or do they have?
Not like German. I
They
think.
have their own twang.
Lisa, if you are listening, get back to me. So then,
Okay. Our optimism.
Switzerland as well. Liechtenstein all speak German.
Yes. Sounds right to me.
Luxembourg will probably speak German.
Belgium, I think, are French and Flemish.
Maybe a little bit German there as well.
I think there might be. Who knows?
Some Polish people speak
Anyway,
German.
get back to us. We think that's a cracking idea. So, no, I think it's time for our predictions. Our final 2 predictions for this week. We have 3 predictions in last week's show. If you want to listen back to that, see how we did there. Good or bad. So our final 2 predictions will be, ironically, for games that have already happened a long, long time ago and might slightly be going on while we're recording this. So, where's my first game, guys? England under 21 versus German under 21.
Germany.
I'll not be watching, so I'll just go 1-0 Germany.
Oof.
I don't know.
I reckon Germany 1-0.
I'll go for 2-1 to Germany.
Well done, Germany. And then Chile versus Australia, which is actually happening as we record this. I can give you the current score 0-0, if that helps. In the fairness, I'll go for Chile 2-1. Again, it's just a toss-up, isn't it? Because it's a nothing game.
0-0.
I'll go for 1-0 to Chile.
Someone has to go through though, don't they? Or is it still a group game?
It's still a group,
Group game.
Okay, even less
but
interesting.
Germany and Chile are going through basically.
Pretty much done.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for listening, everyone, to part 1 and part 2, hopefully, of this wonderful Sofa Manager football podcast. We will be back next week talking a little bit about the European ties, and we'll maybe start to think about previewing the Betfred League Cup sometime soon as well.
Yes, can't
Yeah.
wait.
Very exciting. So thanks for listening from me, Paul.
Cheers, guys. It's John.
Thanks for listening, everyone, from Darren.
Yeah, it's John. Just in case you hadn't identified my voice from the rest of the podcast. Oh, thanks, guys.